Yes, I know the music's still playing because it is Funky Friday. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here. I've been kind of paying attention to the president and Justice Breyer over the last several hours, because apparently Justice Breyer made it official yesterday that he is stepping down as an associate justice on the Supreme Court, right? And I'm gonna have to fade this out. I can't do it. There we go. So anyway, as yesterday, my first reaction was, first we talked about Tomi Lahren, right? So everyone was dragging Tomi Lahren for something that she didn't say, but everyone put the words in her mouth. Did put the words right into her mouth. I'm gonna turn that off. Hold on. They put okay, I'm not even gonna try to sing. And today I got a reminder about something that Joe Biden did. And I was like, oh, I wonder what she thinks about that. Not Tomi Lahren, but the person that's in my head right now. I wonder what she thinks about that. And so we're going to talk about that. I might open a mic up today, but it wasn't really in my plan to do an open mic show. So I apologize if you came here for that. But I may, at the end of the show, maybe in the last half hour, I will do an open mic if anyone wants to chime in verbally rather than typing with your lovely little fingers. So remind me, if you do want to do that, I will gladly open up a mic for you. But for now, I have enough stuff today. I was diligent this morning and pulled up a whole bunch of stuff, basically on Joseph Rahim Biden taking care of the sisters. Okay, so we'll do that and more after I play the intro. Well, Johnny over here. Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dawg Knight.
Alrighty then, stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P. Dawg Knight on the internet. Hey, got a question for you, though, before we get into this too much. Did anyone watch the Grifters last night? Man, that was a fantastic award show. I don't know if I left a link to it in the show yesterday. Maybe I'll put a link to it in today's show too. But just a star-studded extravaganza, and the Hotep fellas did a very nice job with that last night. Now I'm a little. I was surprised. Okay, let's say I'm just a little surprised because there was one. There was a corporate category, right? There was a corporate category. And in the corporate category, I was a little bit disappointed because there is one corporation that I believe not only should have been nominated, but I think that they may have been, I thought they were even a contender for Grifter of the Year, but they were certainly, I thought they were the corporate Grifter of the Year. And that is Pfizer. How Pfizer didn't even get a nomination. I think perhaps the voting is rigged just a tiny bit. But anyway, I believe they made, I forgot. Now look, see how much I'm paying attention. I'm going to pull up some of the show here because I believe, let me see if I got it here. AOC, she got nominated twice and she did not win a Grifty last night. That was kind of upsetting. But hang on a second. Now I got to go back because I can't remember Where the hell is this? There weren't that many videos since last night, were there? Oh, maybe there were. A lot of people posted a lot of stuff last night. Oh, here we go. Here. I'm gonna pull this up because I'm trying to remember just something here. Let's see. They may, and I was also disappointed with Grifter of the Year. Grifter of the Year, Little Nas X. That was a surprise to me. I that was a real surprise to me. I I thought for sure either. I mean, Dr. Fauci won a grifty, and who else won a grifty? I thought, and I was also kind of surprised. Jake Paul didn't win a grifty. Top grifty in music last night. It was "Let's Go Brandon." Just the phrase "Let's Go Brandon" rather than a single artist. It was kind of a theme was the grifty for music, and who else? Let's see I can't remember who else won grifties. The one gal I had no idea who she was, but she won a grifty. Meghan Markle was nominated twice. She didn't win. AOC was nominated twice. She didn't win. But also they had the Hall of Fame. That was pretty good. Tariq Nasheed didn't get a nomination. Well, now look, last year was not a big year for Tariq Nasheed. Now I'm sure that he might be able to get a nomination this year, just how this year's starting. Thanks for asking, Tyre. But anyway, I will have that show in the links again today if you want to go back and watch the Grifty. It's a funny show. But the nominees for the Grifty Hall of Fame. Now that was a little more serious than normal. Al Sharpton got into the Grifty Hall of Fame, but also Woodrow Wilson, former president of the United States, got a Hall of Fame Grifty. And then also, who's the other guy? He was the guy that he was an advertising guy. And he's the guy who convinced women that smoking cigarettes would be healthy. His name is escaping me. But he made it into the Grifty Hall of Fame. Where is it here? I'll find it here. That segment was actually very interesting because it was more educational than where the hell is his name? Just a second. Oh, Edward Bernays. He is a legendary. Actually, he's the guy who wrote the book on propaganda. So anyway, that was a little more serious segment. Was it more educational? It was interesting. The show had a lot for you. It had some comedy, had some laughs, had some certainly some prolific grifting, and it was a fantastic show. So again, I'll link that in the chat. So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about this Supreme Court thing that's going on with the Stephen Breyer made it official yesterday in an announcement at the White House that he would be stepping down from the Supreme Court. We'll talk about that, but let me please acknowledge our friends in the chat here today because did I even tweet this show out? Oh my gosh, look at this. I didn't even do that. Hold up. Give me a second. Silly me. There. At least I got it out on Twitter. I don't have it on the other platforms, but we'll fix that during the show. Anyway, let's say good morning to the troops. Nice to see you all here. First in the chat today. Oh, wait. God, I'm not even set up. Hang on. Oh my gosh, I'm failing. Not as bad as yesterday. I apologize for yesterday's show. I was a little bit I was just distracted. I don't know why. I was so excited for the Grifties that I had I have some other things going on in real life. Like, well, for one of them, for example, is Lady Boomer has the stupid. She has stupid 19. So she is isolating upstairs, and fortunately, I don't have it. I'm fine. I had it once before, back a year ago, December, but no, she got the stupid. And my mother-in-law, who had fallen and cracked a vertebrae in her back, and she was recovering at a transitional care center. And she got COVID while she was in the transitional care center. She's 80 years old, has COPD. You're like, oh, that should be scary. But she is just fine now. So she gets to go back to her home tomorrow. That's a good thing. But anyway, I'll try to make this a better show. So first in the chat today again is, hang on, God, what did I do here? I'm having this is boomer hell today. All right. First in the chat today is our friend Somnambule Nation, who gets the bell. Thank you for being on the show. Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, and Tyre Alexander, who has a knack for being third. Also, good morning to Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate. Good morning, Attack Alpaca. Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Also, good morning, Truckin' Bear. Nice to see you back. I haven't seen you for a while. You get to listen to the dog for the drive home, and I am glad you're with us. Also, good morning, Tall Person. Nice to see you, D.I. Freighter Watcher. Somnambule Nation, thanks for tweeting out the show, by the way. Also, good morning to... let's see, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit, see if I can find some more people. Renee Mayette's in the house. What's happening? Also, good morning to, who else is here? Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Hit the right button this time. Also, good morning, Spidey Man. Nice to have you back. Duck Dog's in the house. If that's not everybody, my scrolling, I have a problem with this mouse, right? Yes, Laura is... she's doing fine. She actually, it's funny because now because of her job, she's vaxxed and boosted. Okay, she's done all that shit that they tell her to do, and they do what they told you. And but that was the only way she could work, and that was kind of a decision. She also, well, never mind. She got vaxxed and boosted. That's fine with me. And her symptoms have been really mild. It's been like a cold. And I haven't even avoided her. When I say she's quarantined herself or isolate herself, I just mean she's stayed home from work. Okay, she's basically, I've been bringing her soup and making food and all that stuff, and she's just chilling out in the living room, getting caught up on what's that series, Ozarks? What's that stories about Ozarks? Something like that. She finished. She finished the Punisher series. She'd already finished. What's the one where he's the devil? Daredevil. She's into those. She's getting into the Marvel, Netflix. Not necessarily superheroes, but kind of anti-hero movies. And so anyway, she's just chilling until she can go back to work, because they're a little more strict about her going back to work than some professions, because she is a registered nurse, and even though she does triage mostly, she's doing fine. Let's put it that way. Dad of Wasteland. Good morning, James Colley. How you doing? Legit Low Talker. Good morning. Thank you, DF Freedom Watchers. I'll let her know that your kind words. Legit Low Talker. I'm sorry I didn't say that right. Sands in the house. And that looks like it's about everybody. I'll catch up later. Omicron is sniffles. Well, it is. I mean, she just had a cough, like pretty, annoying, consistent cough, kind of like mine. But I just have a cold, apparently, because I'm negative. So anyway, so we're all good. I've got my cup of coffee. We're ready to go. I have a little cough syrup in the coffee just to keep me from coughing as much. Let's talk about black women. No. I'm not going all Tommy Sotomayor on your ass. I just want to talk about Joseph Rahim Biden and his pledge to nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court. Now, by the way, I do have a couple of articles that are going to be up here that I'm not going to get to, I'm sure. Very unlikely, but before I go into the black women thing, I saw this tweet. Apparently, the Beijing Olympics is requiring all athletes who are to participate in the Beijing Olympics to have an app on their phone to help track them for health measures. Okay. Well, Molly Mags, how you doing? Always lost nothing else alone. Is back in the house. I love it. apparently, some tech people have been reverse engineering the app that the Chinese have required all athletes to maintain on their Apple and Android phones for tracking for health reasons. And apparently, as they reversed engineered these, basically it's a spyware app, they say that all Olympian audio is being collected, analyzed, and saved on Chinese servers using tech that they got from the United States, from the USA, a blacklisted AI firm called Ifly Tech, 1999. And so there's a story in Wired about it right here. So this is MIT, the university, cut ties with Chinese AI firm amid human rights concerns because they accuse iFlyTech of selling technology to the government that's used to oppress ethnic Uyghurs in Chinese Northwest. Well, they're also using this same software to track every Olympian who's coming into the country. And so fan freaking tastic, I suppose they'll be using it to cheat on training stuff, and maybe they'll force people to not do events who they think will be too good. And I don't know. I'm really shocked that the world has actually allowed the Chinese to even have the Olympics with that Uyghur mess, or Uyghur mess. I always say Uyghur because I think Cenk Uyghur. But he doesn't seem to be all that concerned about the Uyghurs, so I guess it doesn't matter if I say anything to him or not. Good morning, Maddie, too. I see Maddie's in the chat. Welcome, my friend. So anyway, let's talk about black women, though, because that seems to be a big topic on Twitter and all over the internet. So first of all, the reason we're talking about black women is this. Justice Stephen Breyer has made it official that he's no longer going to be on the Supreme Court. And apparently he pulled out a pocket constitution during his announcement. President Joe Biden joined Justice Stephen Breyer for a joint announcement about the justice's imminent retirement. And Breyer offered a statement denoting his faith that this American experience would continue to succeed under the next generation. Biden first announced his plans to follow through on his campaign promise to nominate the first black woman to a seat on the highest court, adding that he hoped to have a name in coming weeks. That's what he said. Immediately afterward, he introduced Breyer, praising his record on the bench. Thank you, Mr. President. That's terribly nice. Believe me, I hold it right here. I hold it right here. Breyer began placing his hand over his heart. It is wonderful. Let's see. Do they have video? Because I really don't want to. Let's get right here. Even though it's
Thank you, Mr. President. That was terribly nice. And believe me, I hold it right here. It's wonderful. And I thought about what I might say to you, and I'd like to say something I enjoy is talking to high school students, grammar school students, college students, even law school students.
So students.
And they'll come around and ask me, what is
why?
the...
Hey, whoa. Why is he discriminating against middle school students? Is there something wrong with middle school students? Except they are really kind of goofy looking and pimply. But anyway.
Particularly meaningful about your job? What sort of gives you a thrill? And that's not such a tough question for me to answer. It's the same thing. Day one almost, up to day I don't know how many. But what I say to them is, look, I sit there on the bench, and after we hear lots of cases, and after a while, the impression, it takes a while, I have to admit, but the impression you get is,
does anybody really care what he's saying right now?
This is a complicated country. There are more than 330 million people, and my mother used to say it's every race, it's every religion, and she would emphasize this, and it's every point of view possible. And it's a kind of miracle when you sit there and see all those people in front of you, people that are so different in what they think. And
I did see that always. Okay, I don't care. He's let's see. Breyer on whether the American experiment self-governance will ultimately work. I'm an optimist. I'm pretty sure it will. That's
He meant women too. And
he rhymed on and on and on.
we are now engaged in a great civil war.
Are we? Whoa, whoa, whoa! I thought we weren't supposed to say that. Then people rake Tim Pool. Pim Tool. What the hell's the dude's name? Tim Pool, that guy, the beady guy. Don't they kind of rake him over the coals to say those words? Listen to what he just said again.
And we are now engaged in a great civil war.
Are we though?
To determine whether that nation or any nation
Are we in a
so
great civil
conceived
war?
and so dedicated can long endure. See, those are the words I want to see.
Oh, is this one of those Democrat things where some people did some things see, some people did some things and other people are getting blamed for being a threat to democracy. The whole bunch of us. Yeah. I don't think Ilhan Omar ever said anything about that because some people, like January 6th, some people did a thing and all of us get blamed. I don't know. Okay, Jesse Leon. What's up, Jeffrey Russell? Nice to
An
see you.
experiment. And that's what he thought. It's an experiment. And I found some letters that George Washington wrote where he said the same thing. It's an experiment.
Well, the experiment's going
That
okay.
experiment existed then because even the liberals in Europe, they're looking over here and they're saying it's a great idea in principle, but it'll never work. But we'll show them it does.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Washington.
Okay, I got respect
And
for
that's
him for
what
saying
Lincoln
this.
thought. And that's what people still think today. And I say, well, I want you, and I'm talking to the students now. I say, I want you to pick just this up. It's an experiment that's still going on.
Leftist just like me.
And I'll tell you something. You know
Let me
who
tell you
will see
something.
whether that experiment works? It's you, my friend. It's you, Mr. High School student. It's you, Mr. College student. It's you, Mr. Law School students.
Okay, did you bother explaining to them how it works? Anyway, enough of him. Okay, so now, so just the point was that Joseph Rahim Biden has pledged and reiterated his pledge to nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court. Now, the problem is, and I don't give a shit who he nominates because it's going to be a leftist ideologue, likely. Sometimes you get cases where you think somebody who's nominated to court has a certain political bent to them, and then they get on the court and things change. Okay, we've had cases where we've thought who you thought would be very liberal justices, and they kind of went to another direction. And we've had people who were nominated that we thought would be conservative justice, and they have not turned out to be what we thought they would be. So I'm not so concerned with who he nominates the courts. I'm pretty confident he's going to try to find someone in the vein of Elena Kagan or Sotomayor, who are obviously, they're not thinking about the law, they're thinking about what they believe the law should be. And I don't believe that's the purview of the Supreme Court, especially when it comes to the Constitution, right? The Constitution was written not to tell how the government should govern or what the government should do. The Constitution was written to tell the government what they can't do. And so what's happening, it seems, it's evolved over many years that the Supreme Court seems to have forgotten that the Constitution is supposed to be about what the government can't do. But anyway, it's going to be some left-wing person. Now, by Joe Biden saying that he's going to nominate a black woman, do you believe that improves that nominee's stature in history by him saying that I'm only going to pick out a pool of legitimate or possible candidates that would happen to fit this very, very narrow, specific demographic? Does that enhance their perception in history, or does it detract from it? I say that would detract from it, because it reeks. It reeks of tokenism. And that judge is always going to have that little asterisk, no matter how good that judge is. It could be the greatest judge in the world, the most qualified, and I'm sure he's going to pick a qualified nominee. But by saying that you're only going to nominate a black woman, you just almost decimate her legacy because it makes it that so you can say, well, she's just picked because she's a black woman, and that's not good. We don't want that. He should have just shut the hell up, nominate who he's going to nominate. If it happened to be a black woman, that's good. What good for her. But don't come out and tell us, well, I'm going to nominate a black woman. And plus, when you look at Joe Biden's track record, it's bullshit anyway. He's not nominating a black woman. Even if the nominee is a black woman, that's not what he's nominating. He's nominating a leftist ideologue. And let's take some history of Joe Biden to prove that. Because all this talk lately about filibusters and about Joe Biden nominating a black woman. All the Democrats want us to drop the filibuster. You can pass shit when you don't even have a majority in the Senate and you barely have a majority in the House. There's no mandate for what you're doing. But you want them to change the filibuster, right? Now, granted, there's not filibusters for federal judges anymore, thanks to Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell following through on Harry Reid's talk and actions. But when Joe Biden had the chance to confirm a black woman to the federal courts, does anyone remember what happened? Now, it wasn't his only chance, but there's one in particular that I remember and got brought up today in an article that I pulled up. Anyone remember the name Janice Rogers Brown? Janice Rogers Brown is a black woman. She was a judge on the California Supreme Court. A California Supreme Court. A black woman nominated to the federal bench. She was already she was to be on the Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. Remember her? Black woman. Let me real quick. Let me do this. I want to thank Cassius Cam, who says through super chat, "What a great week of content. God bless." Well, God bless you, sir. And I appreciate you being a new subscriber, and I appreciate you being a new fellow member of the chat. And thank you. Salute to you, sir. Thank you too. So, and thank you for being the first sponsor today. I appreciate that. So Janice Rogers Brown. Here, and this is the article that reminded me of this, particularly because of two reasons. One, when Janice Rogers Brown was nominated to the federal bench, Joseph Rahim Biden filibustered and voted against the nomination of a black woman to the federal bench. Joe Biden, why you always hiding? With you, I'm not riding. Your presidency like Poseidon. Joe Biden. Rahim Biden filibustered a black woman to the federal bench. Oh, oh, there she is. There's Janice Rogers Brown. She was a California Supreme Court Justice, and he filibustered her nomination to the federal bench. This woman could be a Supreme Court Justice by now, but not because, no thanks to Joe Biden. In 2003, then President George W. Bush nominated Janice Rogers Brown, an associate justice on the California Supreme Court, to serve as a judge on the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. She was the first black woman nominated for the federal bench by that racist motherfucker, George W. Bush. Nominated to the federal bench. But Rogers Brown had a problem. She was a libertarian conservative who refused to play ball with civil rights organizations. One of her major decisions was a dissent in the case of forcing cigarette manufacturers to put warning labels on packs and cartons, a truly libertarian decision. She also attacked the New Deal, which gave us Social Security and other programs as the triumph of our socialist revolution. That's what she said. You can imagine the anger of her liberal colleagues over that one. But Joseph Rahim Biden, champion of civil rights and the president who has gloried in naming the first the first minorities to several positions in his administration, filibustered against her nomination and voted twice against her. When Biden had a chance to vote for a black woman, he declined. That racist motherfucker. By the way, I see the bots in the chat. If you happen to be one of my mods, you can report them. Don't mute them or block them. Report them, and then click whatever the thing is. I'm happy with it. Just on the bots though, nobody else. So, and here's from Breitbart on Wednesday's broadcast, the Fox News Channel. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's what he did. He filibustered and voted against Janice Rogers Brown twice, the first ever black woman nominated to a federal bench. Now, do you think any of the black peoples were mad about Joseph Rahim Biden filibustering? Remember, the filibuster right now, and that's a relic of the Jim Crow South, right? The filibuster, the relic from Jim Crow. And what happened? Joseph Rahim Biden used that relic of the Jim Crow South, of Jim Crow. It came from, because the filibuster's been long before there was ever a thought of Jim Crow. Anyway, but it's just another example of a Democrat using the filibuster against black people. Against a black woman, a strong black woman. Unbelievable. And now he wants to make up for it by narrowing the pool of candidates to the Supreme Court of the United States down to the tiniest sliver of a demographic. I'm just saying, it's just unfathomable. Inconceivable. All right, enough. But it's true. It's true as hell. Now, Breyer, by the way, who says he's retiring? Here's another article from Legal Insurrection. Breyer says he's retiring, but only when his successor is confirmed, right? Biden has confirmed his campaign promise only to consider black women for the next vacancy and will make a nomination by the end of February. Justice Stephen Breyer made it official. He's retiring, blah, 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 but he's not going to risk his seating his seat sitting vacant. So he's decided not to die on us and not have an 8-8 court. He's going to hang around at least until a successor is named and confirmed. But I'm confused by that because don't you technically have to have an open seat before you can confirm somebody? I'm not quite sure how the rules go on that, but hey, whatever floats your boat. Justice Breyer, he says, I intend this decision to take effect when the court rises for the summer recess this year, typically late June or July, assuming that by then a successor has been nominated and confirmed. He put that in writing. Breyer attended the White House event. Biden has reiterated that only black women are under consideration, making good on a campaign promise. He said he intends to make the nomination by the end of February. He's been studying the backgrounds of potential replacements for Justice Breyer, focusing on their qualifications and experience and their melanin. And he has made clear he intends to make good on his campaign pledge that his pick will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court. It's long overdue in my opinion. Nigga, what? He's filibustered a black woman to the Court of Appeals. Guess what? I bet you, had she not been, well, I mean, they still could have nominated her for the Supreme Court, but come on, man. Come on, man. Oh my goodness. I never used that word either. I went back to, well, I went back to church. I went back to okay, so this is kind of funny. So I, grew up in a black family in Omaha, Nebraska. When I was adopted, I was 4 years old. And I went to an Episcopal church because that's, my parents were big in the Episcopal, my mother especially, and my grandparents were in the Episcopal church. So that's the church I attended. And the Episcopal Church is kind of like the Catholic Church, but it's I wouldn't say it's more lenient, but it's basically Catholic light. You don't have to confession and all that stuff. And you also, but the service was exactly the same. I'd go to my friend's Catholic church. It was the exact same service as my church. It was just, some king in England wanted to get a divorce, and the Catholic Church wouldn't let him. So he said, fuck it, I'm going to start my own church. Boom, there's the Episcopal Church. So I was an Episcopalian, and there are not a whole lot of black Episcopalians. Most of the black people in Omaha are either Baptist, Methodist, some other thing. But there were a couple. There was one prominent black Episcopalian church, and I went to it. And I was an altar boy, right? And I was, one of the younger altar boys, and the older younger altar boys. Whenever we were just waiting for whatever we had to do, we'd be down in the basement of the church, and and the guys are always throwing out N-bombs while they're talking about other people. This, that. And I never liked it to hear it because I lived out in the other part of Omaha where around mostly white people. And I didn't like that word at all because that was back when people still used that word in its original intention. And I didn't like that shit. So I was like, whatever. But more lately, occasionally that'll pop out. So I'm not proud of it, but it happens. And because I am melanated, apparently I can use that word whenever I want. I don't tend to use it, but anyway. All right. So let's see. Let's see some of the president. How long is this shit? No, this is 15 minutes. I don't care what Joe Biden said either. Update: Mitch McConnell is on the case, though. Mitch McConnell made a statement. The president. Wait. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I meant Mitch McConnell's on the case. Well, the president must not outsource this important decision to the radical left. The American people deserve a nominee with a demonstrated reverence for the written text of our laws and our Constitution. That was McConnell's statement. And let's see, President Biden. Oh no, what there? What now? No. President Biden says the person I nominate to replace Justice Breyer will be someone with extraordinary qualifications, character, and integrity. And they will be the first black woman. They? What do you mean they? Okay, Biden's not written his own tweet. They will be the first black woman nominated to the United States Supreme Court. Oh, is that because if the first one doesn't get confirmed, he's just going to keep sending, kind of like platoons, kind of like, what's that movie, Starship Trooper? They just kept sending platoons of those weird insect things to come kill the people, as opposed to the fake people, the real people. Anyway, so there you go. Oh, Lord. This is, and now, this is one of the things that they were probably going to be worried about as this went on, because Manchin and Cinema, Oh, real quick. Thank you. Cannon Hotep. What's up, man? Salute to you, sir. By the way, Cannon Hotep was one of the presenters on the Grifties last night. Did a fantastic job. Again, I'll have that link to the Grifty. It's a funny show, even if you're not normally a watcher of the Hotep family. Definitely, it's on Hotep Nation. The link will be in the description down below. Thank you, Ken Hotep, for your generous donation. I appreciate that. And also, good morning to Nat, Natasha, Kayleen. What's happening? Gluten-free Morton. Yes. All right. So I'm starting to get some traffic from my friends over at Hotep Nation. These are some of my Hotep friends over here. Okay, so Manchin, who they're worried about, because, in West Virginia's, Joe Manchin's hanging on by a string in West Virginia. And Cinema, the new Maverick, I should say, the new Maverick that replaced the old Maverick, the Democrats are kind of worried about them. Because here's the thing. We talked yesterday how Lawrence Tribe and Alan Dershowitz, who are not necessarily on the same side of anything, have said that the Vice President of the United States can't necessarily break a tie for a judge nominee. Now, I'm pretty sure that they will have to do that anyway, but Joe Manchin is probably not, well, let's just put it this way. There was a sigh of relief among Democrats when Joe Manchin said that he is willing to support a liberal justice. Oh, shocker. I'm shocked that he might do that. So anyway, on Thursday, Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia spoke about his potential support for a Supreme Court nominee, noting that he would be willing to support a person who has more liberal beliefs than he holds. Now, is there a danger to Joe Manchin for doing that? I'm not even going to read the rest of the article. You can read the rest yourself. Not really. I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter, really. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't, right? It doesn't matter who Joe Biden nominates, I don't think, because it's going to be liberal justice. It just is. And it's not going to change the balance of the court. Now, the funny thing about that, though, as I mentioned earlier, it's so, good morning, Maddie, too. It's so interesting, though, because I'm kind of old. I'm older. I'm an older guy. I've been around a while. I voted for the first time in the 84 election. I remember the 70s. I distinctly remember Jimmy Carter's years. By the way, I keep going off a tangent, but I can't help it. Right now, as Jimmy Carter is in his very later years, I think he's 99 years old, and he and Rosalind still alive. Is he still alive? Jimmy Carter didn't die, did he? No, he didn't die. Anyway, Jimmy Carter has got to be just ecstatic about the presidency of Joe Biden. Because now Jimmy Carter's no longer the worst president in history. He's trying to be like, hey, finally someone beat my damn record. I can die in peace. Okay, but I'm not looking for Jimmy Carter to die. Did he die? No, I don't know. Anyone? Okay, is Jimmy Carter still alive? I think so. Look, Jimmy Carter might be. I would consider Jimmy Carter one of the greatest former presidents. Okay. One, because thank God he became a former president when he did, but also because I think Jimmy Carter, he practiced what he preached. I love the fact that he got so involved with Habitat for Humanity after his presidency, and he walked the walk, man. I never really cared for his politics. I disagree with him on policy and politics, but as far as him being a good man and just not, he didn't go out and be the grift, he didn't go out and, he just went out and did his thing, and he's done all this work for Habitat for Humanity, and he and his wife out there building houses, just got their work boots on and hitting nails with hammers and shit. I have a very huge amount of respect for Jimmy Carter. So, but I still laugh because he's got to be happy that Joe Biden came along, so he's no longer the worst president ever. So anyway, what was I talking about? Joe Manchin. Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's going to be a liberal justice no matter what. The balance of the court's not going to change. The only thing that, the only thing is that, like I said before, a lot of times presidents nominate people to the bench, right? And in particular the Supreme Court, and they think they're nominating what fits their own ideology and whatever. And then when the judge gets to the bench, they kind of become something else. I think some justices, whatever, who end up on the Supreme Court, when they get there, they realize that even though they've had some sort of an ideological bend to them, for their decisions, I think that when they get to the Supreme Court, they realize, this is every decision here is kind of the decision, right? It has to be something that can stick for a long time, or I'm gonna look like a fool. So I think in a lot of cases, there, especially when it comes to things on free speech, I've noticed that even the liberal justices tend to follow the same path as the conservative justices. And the other part too is, unfortunately, sometimes the conservative justices disappoint the conservative or the president who nominated them, especially Justice Roberts and that stupid Obamacare shit. But anyway, so I can't even guarantee whoever Joe Biden nominates to the court, if it's a black woman or not. Is there some freedom in being that last judge, that you can just end up doing what you want? It may not be what is expected of you from the people who nominated you and were celebrating your appointment. So never expect that it's just going to be just because he says he's going to nominate a black woman, and he will, and he'll probably, if he doesn't he'll get one until he gets one on the court, and they'll be celebrated. Oh, the first black woman. I don't care. Anyway, thank you, Tyre Alexander, for sponsoring the show. And Tyre Alexander, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. That is, people who donate to Streamlabs are eligible for that, because I have no way of tracking it or putting it on the screen if they were from the YouTube Super Chats. Plus, you already gave 30% to Susan, so, but that's okay. I'm taking it however it goes. Anyway, Tyre says, this is a dangerous precedent. Awaiting successor, nominated before the seat is truly vacant, could be a sword too powerful for mortal men. Today's sponsor is Zombie Cream. Zombie Cream has been keeping your zombies look alive for years. Ask the Clintons. Okay, I didn't expect that. I should have read that out before I read it, because I would have given it a more commercial type style to it. But thank you, Tyre Alexander, and our sponsor, Zombie Cream. We appreciate that. All right, let's move on. More about this, though. Now, and then another article from PJ Media. Don't expect Manchin or Sinema to save us from a Biden SCOTUS pick. I don't expect them to. I don't care if they do or not. The thing is, this is going to be really challenged, because, first of all, because of the power sharing agreement. Did we talk about this yesterday? I could have sworn we talked about this yesterday. That power sharing agreement between Biden-McConnell because it's a 50-50 Senate. So the Judiciary Committee in the Senate is 50-50, and they take turns chairing the committee. So, first of all, got to get a nominee out of the committee. Now, is that going to be difficult? I don't know. I don't know if it will or not, but you can't nominate some not so radical to the bench and expect it just to fly through with a 50-50 Senate. Because you might not ever get it up to you might never get it to a vote. And if they are unable to resolve this, we explained it yesterday, if they're unable to resolve it, the nomination kind of goes dormant, and it can be brought up in the Senate. But if you bring it up in the Senate, it's a dormant nomination. Then they have, because remember, they use that just strict majority vote if the nominee makes it to the Senate. But if it's a dormant nomination, then you have to you have to have cloture on any other action on that nominee, which would mean a 60 vote requirement to get to cloture. So at that point, you end up having to withdraw the nominee. So there you go. All right, now, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who asked, did they nominate Talcum X, a.k.a. Martin Luther Cream, for Grifter of the Year? Was he? I believe he was up for Grifter of the Year. He did not win, though. He did not win. Lil Nas X won Grifter of the Year. In fact, I can show you right now. Here's, let's go to the Grifter of the Year nominees. Let's go right here. Oh, yep, he was nominee for Grifter of the Year. And here, we'll just watch it. Here we go. I know you all are interested, so let's just watch it on YouTube here.
Finally, we have the most valuable grifter tonight, the Grifter of the Year.
And presenting,
Here's I'll just go through the nominees.
The godfather of the red pill, Rollo Tomas.
By the way, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
The influence of the grift is everywhere. From family drama to national politics, the grift is here to stay. You use the grift daily whenever you say a little white lie in mixed company, or keep your thoughts to yourself to fit in. But the true champions of the grift can't stop. These people eat, sleep, and breathe the grift. Whether they're a politician, musician, actor, or anyone else, the grift flows through them so strongly that you could bet every word
I
they
have to
speak
pause
is
for
calculated.
this.
These are the champion
Because
grifters.
Mr. Lone has done the most patriotic. Hang on. Why is it going again? There we go. The most patriotic donation possible on the Morning Night Live with the 1776. Thank you, Mr. Lone. And Mr. Lone, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. With the big old 1776. Oh, it did it again. He says, this is number 447. I think that's the 447th comment on the Morning Night Live by Mr. Lone, who says, clearly, the FBI, the CIA, and other glow-in-the-dark... Whoa, what the hell's going on here? Oh, I must have hit that button too many times. Anyway, clearly the FBI, the CIA, and other glow-in-the-dark are using Biden to troll the American population. They can't fool me. FBI Director Chris Wray is an Antifa simp. People will believe that before they believe anything Biden says. Thank you, Mr. Lone. I appreciate your sponsorship on the show, and thank you very much. All right, so anyway, here's the Grifters of the Year nominees.
Tonight, we recognize them.
Here they are.
We'd like to thank all the nominees for their contribution to the cause, but today, only one person can walk away with the coveted title. And the nominees for Grifter of the Year are... Sean King.
Hey, I don't know who needs to hear this. I just felt really compelled to tell you it's going to be okay. I don't know what you're going through.
Sean King, Talcum X, Martin Luther Cream, Chalk D. Chalk D. I almost forgot. Hold on. I can't play it on this stream, but Hang on. Oh, this is important. This is important. And I'm asking you, look here, listen up. Speaking of Chalk D here, I don't know if you've seen my new video yet. I put a new video out yesterday. Thank you again, Mr. Lone. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Speaking of Chalk D, there's a rap legend supergroup that has put out a new video, a new music video. And there's a promotion of that video on my channel. And I will put a link. Let me see if I can link this. How do I link this? I got to do this without playing it. Hang on. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put a link. That scared me for a second. I'm going to put a link to that video in the tabs today. It's very important. It's I'm asking you, after this show, immediately after this show, I'm going to put the link in the chat, and I want you to put it on your screen before you go, okay? And if you can't do that, just go to my channel. It's very important. In honor of the Grifties, I've featured this new song on my channel. So check that out after the show, or when the show's over. It'll be in the link, and I'll remind you at the end, and I will put it in the chat so you can go watch that video. So anyway, thank you, Maddie, for sponsoring the show just now. Who said, "Oh, we have another new sponsor. We have another new sponsor." Maddie's brought it to my attention. This show is brought to you by Blue No Matter Who. That's right, the people who brought you such hits as Heels Up Harris. I think that's been Heels Up Harris. Let me start over, because I'm pretty sure that's just a typo, so I'm going to read it the way it was meant to be read. This show is brought to you by Blue No Matter Who. That's right, the people who brought you such hits as Heels Up Harris, and the Senile Senior in Chief is bringing you racism in the SCOTUS nomination. Blue No Matter Who, when you can't help but see color. Thank you, Maddie, for that wonderful, wonderful commercial. That was fantastic. By the way, as I reminded you, if you want to sponsor a show, you don't necessarily have to have a pithy comment or, anything like that. You can come up with a great commercial just like Maddie just did. That was fantastic. Thank you, Maddie. All right. So anyway, back to the nominees. So the first nominee was Sean King. And let's see. We'll go through the nominees. I'm not going to play the winner because... Or did I already tell you who the winner was? So I think I did, but I'm not going to tell you any of the other winners. You need to go watch the show yourself.
I don't know what you're facing. I know what I faced.
Yes.
I know what I've been through.
You've been so much, Sean.
I just want to tell you, you are going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Oh, Brittany Renner.
Such an inspiring
message. A lot of people say that I have a few screws loose.
I don't know who Brittany Renner is. Oh, I might get dinged for this music, won't I? I don't know where they got this music from. Well, if I get dinged for it, who cares? Okay, somebody explain to me, because I saw this show. She was nominated twice, and I'm not even sure who Brittany Renner is. So if anyone in the chat want to tell me who the hell Brittany Renner is, because she got nominated twice, I don't even know. Did she marry some ball player? What did she do? Someone explain to me who she is. Maybe I should just look it up. That would be smarter. I do have Google, but some of you might know.
More like a mom. Yeah, I'm unpredictable, unforgiving, beautiful, yet dangerous. Like Mother Nature. You're right. I have lost my mind.
Okay.
And I don't wish to find it.
Who is this woman? X. Now we know who Little Nas X is, and please. Oh no, I'm not even playing this because he was also nominated. But I'll just mute it because I can't play the music. Here we go. But this will give you an idea what's going on with Little Nas X, and I just want to go, what the hell is this? I just can't. I just can't. But hey, look, here's the thing. I gotta give it up for not Little Nas X, and not in the way that you might think. look, what's the hottest grift you can do right now? Because he and Billy Porter are both doing it. Now, I don't even know what about Billy Porter, what his deal is, but he just wears dresses and he gets all the attention, because that's how you get attention now, is to wear clothing that is traditionally made for, other sexualities and sexes and whatever, not the traditions of society, at least in this society, and you wear something different and you get attention, right? And so Lil Nas X, I got to give it up to him, because he's milking that for as much as he can. And believe me, because his music is not all that great, but boy, even that, when he did the country thing, that was kind of a grift too, because I don't think he has any country tendencies in him, but it worked, right? It worked. And then Billy Ray Cyrus said, hey, I'm gonna help you, son, because I don't understand this, and but he certainly is getting his grifter. And then now look, then there was Jake Paul, and Jake and both the Paul brothers. This boxing grift that they're doing is amazing. I thought for sure that they would get the Sports Grifter of the Year. They were nominated, but somehow they didn't get it. Or did they? I can't remember. Did they win the Grifter of the Year for sports? I don't know. I'm not. Don't answer that question if you know the answer in the chat, please. But I think this is the greatest grift ever, because they're getting out there and boxing and shit, and they're not really boxers, but I don't know who he knocked that guy out. That guy got knocked the fuck out. Anyway, but it's like when they did the Mayweather fight, I don't even remember which one of them fought Mayweather. And Mayweather just kind of toyed with them, and for whatever rounds, and Jake pretended like, was it Jake or Logan? Whichever one jumped in the ring with Mayweather. Mayweather could have, oh, come on, even at 40, whatever, Mayweather could have knocked that dumbass out. And one of them's even now, even saying that they want to fight Mike Tyson. And even look, how old's Mike Tyson? 52, 53. I'm a little bit older. I think I'm 5 years older than Mike Tyson, so he'd be 52. 52, because I met Mike Tyson. I met him back in New York back in 1987 before he was a champion. Anyway, I was name dropping there. But if you've seen when Mike Tyson was training to fight Roy Jones Jr., I think it was last year, Mike looked real. He came in looking like Rock of Gibraltar. Hard. I mean, he was in his, you've seen him hit the bag, and I'm like, he would knock Jake Paul the fuck out. But Jake Paul's grift on this, and Logan Paul's grift on this boxing thing, they're making bank. Like, the bag is as big as my house. Bank. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I thought that's one of the greatest grifts ever. So anyway, those are the nominees.
And the winner.
And I'm not telling you, Jake Paul, Lil Nas X, who was it? Sean King, and whoever that woman is. And who is she? Somebody tell me who that woman is. I have no idea. What's her name again? Brittany Renner or something like that shit? Anyway. Where was I talking about before we got? I was back on Justice Breyer, right? I'm easily distracted today. I'm running out of time too. All right. So anyway, don't expect that. Here's where I was. I was saying, don't expect Manchin or Sinema to save us from Biden's SCOTUS pick. You probably noticed that Joe Biden's agenda has hit some snags. Two in particular: Senators Joseph Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. Because of them, the filibuster is still intact. The filibuster that Joseph Biden used to thwart the nomination of a black woman to the federal bench. Remember, he wants to nominate a black woman, but he filibustered the first black woman ever nominated to the federal bench. He's just making up for some shit. Anyway, because of them, the filibuster is still intact. Build Back Better is back-burnered. And the Democrats' election takeover is not happening. After the news that Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer was retiring, I'm sure many of the right had a moment of panic before thinking that maybe, just maybe Manchin and Sinema won't be a rubber stamp for Biden's Supreme Court pick. Remember, Joe Manchin also was the only Democrat who voted for Justice Kavanaugh. Anyway, but I might add that even though that pick hasn't been made yet, this person sexually assaulted me 25 years ago. Oh, yeah, we read that one. Yes, Biden's nominee, whoever it is, sexually assaulted Matt Margolis 25 years ago. We already know that happened, and even though he doesn't remember how he got there, he knows that the nominee sexually assaulted him 25 years ago. Let's just remember that. But anyway, it would be best if you braced yourself for disappointment now, because while these two moderate Democrats have been roadblocked for Joe Biden's radical agenda, they voted to confirm all of Biden's judicial nominees to lower courts, even the controversial ones. So there's little reason to believe that they'll balk at confirming a radical liberal to the Supreme Court. Not that it matters. That said, it may be a moot point anyway. I'd be willing to bet that some Republican senators will back Biden's nominee, namely Susan Collins from Maine and Lisa Murkowski, the kind of Republican from Alaska, who have shown a willingness to support Biden's lower court nominees too. Also, Republicans have shown to be more open to confirming liberal justices in the past. 6 Republicans voted to confirm Elena Kagan, and 9 voted to confirm Sonia Sotomayor. Only 3 Democrats voted to confirm Neil Gorsuch, 1 Brett Kavanaugh, Joe Manchin, and none for Amy Coney Barrett. They were torn up about that one. Anyway, Republicans may be more united in opposition to radical nominees still. Still, Collins and Murkowski are likely going to support Biden's pick, so Manchin and Sinema's vote will not count, or will not be as consequential regardless. So anyway, whatever. Thank you, Tyre Alexander, for another sponsorship of the show. Appreciate it. Who says, back in my day, we call them cross-dressers. They were boring back then. Remember, zombie. Oh, Henry. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to separate the message from the sponsor. Hang on. So the message, hello, Brett Hayes. The message, back in my day, we call them cross-dressers. They were boring back then, and they're boring now. But it's weird. It certainly gets them a lot more attention now. And, you ever notice, I'm going to finish I'll get to the sponsor part here in a second. Have you noticed that we seem to have a deficit in nerds? Nerd people are the people, and nerds, and what were those people that wore all the black stuff? Emos. We're kind of, we have a definite deficit in nerds and emos, but we're having this, a corresponding rise in the number of just not even just the LGBT part, the T part, and it just seems like you used to get attention by wearing black eye makeup and all black and sitting in the square at the school, and now they're all, never mind. You know what I'm saying. Now the advertisement part of this. Remember, zombie cream for your zombie needs. Zombie cream. If you ever wonder how Nancy Pelosi keeps her skin so youthful, it's zombie cream, found in an empty store shelves near you. Yes, we are having some supply chain problems with zombie cream. Thank you. That was fantastic. Tyre Alexander, thank you for sponsoring the show. Goths, yes, goths and emos. There's a dearth of goths and emos. There just is. So anyway, whatever. I'm not worried that. Now, Ben Carson's trending today because people are mad at Ben Carson for something, and apparently he said something that everyone was mad about because he's not happy that the Biden is using such a narrow criteria, at least for a Supreme Court nominees. He slammed Biden for abominable identity politics on the SCOTUS pick. Carson warned that bringing identity politics into the Supreme Court is very detrimental to our freedoms. Former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson blasted President Biden on Thursday for making identity politics a factor in his choice for a Supreme Court justice. Biden said Thursday that he will announce his nominee to replace retiring Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer before the end of February, and that the candidate will be a black woman. And Carson said during an interview on WMAL, you know, this is America. Many people fought and gave their lives to bring equality. And now we're reverting back to identity politics. And as we continue to do that, we're bringing more division into our country. Carson continued. Carson went on to criticize those who claim no racial progress has been made in the United States, saying that the claims are not true. You know, when I was a kid, it was a big deal when you saw a black person on television who wasn't in a servile role. And now you have black CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, university presidents, generals, admirals. We've elected a black president twice. You've got a black vice president. Come on, to say that we haven't made any progress is just silly. I'm sorry. My Ben Carson needs some work, but it's close, right? Is it close? I'm trying. Anyway, acknowledging that there's still more room for progress, Carson admonished that we should build on the good things and on the progress we have made rather than always harping on what the negatives are. And he also warned that the president could be setting by choosing a justice based on race and gender. Well, you know, Biden don't give a shit. He don't care. He going to nominate a black woman. And, it's, you know, isn't it weird in a roundabout way how racist that is? It is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, he's trying to be not racist by nominating a black woman, by saying he's going to nominate a black woman. It's kind of racist. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because it's about time. What do you mean it's about time? It's time to do it? Well, why? You remember, Joe Biden, you were one of the leading senators against Clarence Thomas, a black man. You filibustered a black woman for the federal bench. And now you're saying it's time? Are you saying it wasn't time then, Joe? Was it not time when there's a whole weird thing that this is going on. It's just straight. Quipper United, what's up? Thank you. Welcome to the show. All right. So anyway, but if you go on Twitter, where is that? I got to find this because there were people just listen to some of the comments that people make. They're so mad that Ben Carson has the nerve to speak because they think that he was, Trump's token, I guess. Because now look, here's the people. Because remember, let me remind you who Ben Carson is. Okay, so Ben Carson grew up in the projects or whatever, in single mom, all this stuff, right? Ben Carson grows up, became probably the number one surgeon in the world, heart surgeon, right? Brilliant man. First one to separate twins conjoined at the head. Did heart surgeries on babies in the womb while their mom is pregnant. This guy, brilliant, smart man, and probably has the most steady hand in the world. Maybe that's why he has that really weird, calm voice, because he always kind of talks like this in a very, very calm voice. And I think that may be because when Ben Carson is doing surgery, Ben Carson needs to be able to keep a steady hand. If you're up there yelling and shaking your hands around, you can't do surgery that way, and it's just not conducive to doing a successful procedure. So I think maybe that's why he always talks this way, because he just has a very steady hand. So there you go. D.I. Freighter Watcher thank you for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm sorry, I'm still talking like Ben Carson. To have a wonderful day, DF Raider Watcher. Appreciate you coming by. So anyway, there's people jumping all up on Ben Carson's grits about this. Now, Thought Criminal is not one who would do that, but anyway, isn't it interesting how a world-renowned brain surgeon like Dr. Ben Carson is never referred to as doctor by the media, but the first lady who is not a doctor without fail is introduced as Dr. Jill Biden. Well, that's a good point. My friend Thought Criminal, who I've followed for a long time, if you use Ben Carson as the one black friend you hired for an unqualified job, you're a racist. Really? So you don't think that Dr. Ben Carson could figure out how to do housing and urban development? Because he did. Remember, a man who grew up in the projects wouldn't know anything about subsidized housing? I think not. If Ben, and this is another, now a white woman, it's a middle-aged white woman over here saying, if Ben Carson thinks Biden is playing identity politics with his SCOTUS picks, what was Trump playing when he appointed him? Dude can hardly stay awake. Again, I'm telling you why Ben Carson always talks like that. Because you have to have a really steady hand when you're doing surgery. So, I think it's time for you to just shut the hell up, bitch. Okay? That's what I'm saying to you. Just shut the hell up, bitch. But Ben Carson attacked Biden for abominable identity politics and promising to pick an African-American female SCOTUS. And yet Ben Carson remained silent when Trump said, look at my African-American over there. Ben is pulling a Larry Elder and a Tim Scott. Yes, Ben Carson is a racist. Bitch, I bet you're one of these people who say that Ben Carson can't be a racist because he's black. That'd be my guess right now. So shut the hell up. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of people bitching about Ben Carson speaking up because a black man speaking up about anything is just not cool, right? Just not cool. Anyway, many people, that's Tony Perkins. Anyway, you can watch them drag Ben Carson on your own time. I'm done. I like Ben Carson, even though I'm sorry. If I wanted to, let's say my children were still young, okay? And someone said, hey, can you pick out a role model that you'd like your kids to model themselves after? Besides myself, of course, because I'm a wonderful black man in this white world. But if I had to say, okay, pick a couple role models that you'd want your kids to know about and like to know their life story, and maybe put in a history book as something that they should aspire to, right? Despite the fact that Ben Carson always talks like this and just whatever, I would probably put Ben Carson in my top 20, maybe my top 5, okay? Because of his resilience and brilliance. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, now, the other thing that people were freaking out about yesterday was the fact that Joseph Rahim Biden, handed a face mask to Justice Breyer. Now, I don't know why this was such a big deal. President Joe Biden wrapped up his joint appearance Thursday alongside retiring Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer by announcing that he was not going to take any questions. Oh, shocker! Joe Biden not taking questions after an appearance in front of the press types? I can't believe it. Anyway, that he was not going to take questions and handed a folded face mask to Justice Breyer. Biden and Breyer appeared together to formally announce the latter's intent. Let me just go down to some of these stupid tweets. Here's the Joseph Rahim Biden, before I even play this. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
For another sponsorship for the show, who says, Black Hebrew Israelite says, Ben Carson needs to pull a Wayne Brady and smack a bitch.
That's right.
Okay. If you're going to write about me on the Twitter machine, I might have to smack a bitch. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show. So here is Joe Biden saying it would be inappropriate to take questions.
Thank you all so very, very much for being here.
Oh, my God, this guy.
I'm not going to take any questions because I think it's inappropriate to take questions with the justice here. He's still sitting on the bench, and I'm going to give you the mask back. But you'll have plenty of opportunities to get me later today and for the rest of the week, next week.
Wait a minute. I'm going to give you your mask back. Wait. I didn't even see this thing, but look what he did. Okay, so now when he watch Joseph Rahim Biden pass this mask back to Justice Breyer and see if you notice anything in particular about this handoff.
Justice here, he's still sitting on the bench. And
but by the way, why would it be inappropriate to take questions? Why? Can anyone think of a real? Okay, wrong answers only in the chat. Why would it be inappropriate for Joe Biden to take questions at the end of a press gathering as such? Please put your answers in the chat, and I will try to catch them as they come up. Good morning, Cool Frog, by the way.
I'm going to give you the mask back. But you'll have plenty of opportunities to get me later today and for the rest of the week.
Now, notice something? Did you notice what Breyer did with that mask? He hands him the mask. Watch what Breyer does with the mask. Here's your mask back. Here is your mask back.
But you'll have plenty of opportunities to get me later today.
He puts it in his pocket because he's already wearing a mask. Holy shit. I don't think that was Biden's mask. Biden was wearing a black mask. So I don't know. But anyway, we'll
for the rest of the week.
All right, so people freaked out about that. But
so, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
In deference to the moment. Sir, what will it mean to you to pick the first black woman on the court?
Okay, so why would it be inappropriate to ask? That is the stupidest thing. Well, no, it's not the stupidest thing. Biden says a lot of stupid shit. It has his entire political career. But anyway, apparently people were really worried about that. That he gave a mask. Critics quickly mocked Biden, asking how it was following the science to give what many assumed was his own mask to Breyer. Well, he didn't give his own mask to Breyer. That because again, Biden was wearing, unless he was double masked. I don't know. Joe Biden just handed his used mask to Justice Breyer, who then put it in his pocket. Impeach or nah? That's Dave Rubin. That's hilarious. Wait, why did he hand him a mask? Another ask, because he was already wearing a mask. At the end of the event, Biden handed Justice Breyer his mask, which Breyer then put in his pocket as Biden walked away maskless. Amazing how clueless this man is. Notice though, here's the beginning. Biden had a mask on. Here, look at this. In fact, there it is right there. You can see in this video right here, Biden was already wearing a mask. And it wasn't two masks. Or did he have a double mask?
Choosing someone to sit in the
Supreme hang Court. On. Let me go down to this end. Right here, Biden has a mask in his hand. Is he double masked? I was trying to see if that, because this mask does have a white lining. So maybe he was double masked. I don't know. But anyway, he handed that white mask to Breyer, and then left it with no mask. So apparently, okay, if Breyer was observing proper mask edit, he would have put it on a new one after speaking, rather than simply putting his own dirty mask back on. And if that is the case, he may have walked into the room carrying a spare. Is that true? You can't put a mask back on after you speak? I've never... Okay, they're just making shit up now. I'm sorry. They're just making shit up. That Wayne Brady skit on the Chappelle Show was a killer. Yes, that was... Wayne Brady should smack a bitch. Anyway, all right. I'm running out of time. I'll just show you what else is in here. So Clyburn confirms his endorsement of Joe Biden hinged on his SCOTUS picks. This was... Representative Jim Clyburn of South Carolina confirmed Thursday that he hinged his crucial endorsement of Joe Biden during the presidential primary on his choosing a black woman to sit on the Supreme Court. Remember when Jim Clyburn saved the Biden nomination process? Well, actually, I think the DNC did. They decided that it was time to give Joe a win. So they said to Jim Clyburn, hey, DNC Jim Clyburn, let's endorse Joe Biden. And Jim Clyburn's like, nah, he's terrible. And then the DNC said, well, maybe we can get him to put a black woman on the Supreme Court. And Jim Clyburn's like, oh, shit. Yeah, maybe we will have to to endorse Joe Biden if he promises to do that. Well, apparently Clyburn has confirmed that he hinged his crucial endorsement on Joe Biden during this presidential election on his choosing a black woman to sit on the Supreme Court. Shortly after the news broke of Justice Breyer's retirement from the highest court in the land, reports surfaced that Clyburn was pushing hard for Biden to select his desired pick, given that Clyburn may very well have saved Biden's candidacy against Bernie Sanders. Now, guess who that pick might be? Well, I think there's a judge on the Supreme Court of South Carolina who is a black woman, and I think that's who Mr. Clyburn wants him to pick. And I'm trying to remember her name. I can't off the top of my head. But anyway, so Clyburn, who got Joe Biden into the White House, is now going to make Biden make good on his promise. All right, what is this here? I'm gonna close that. Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to close that, though. Anyway, let's see, let's get that reopened because I want you to see that even if I don't get to it, because I'm not going to get to it. And finally, the New York Post today, not necessarily a friend to Joseph Rahim Biden, but this is Glenn Reynolds. If you're not familiar with Glenn Reynolds is the guy who I believe is Instapundit. Is that Glenn Reynolds? Is there more than one Glenn Reynolds? I'm curious. Let's look down here and see if, yes, Glenn Harlan Reynolds is a professor of law at the University of Tennessee and founder of the Instapundit.com blog, one of the most prolific blogs out there on the conservative side of things. Glenn Reynolds wrote this article. Well, Justice Stephen Breyer announced his retirement, or to be more accurate, someone leaked that he was going to announce his retirement in a few months. Note the subtle difference in those two phrases. That someone was probably at the White House, which has been desperate for a storyline that would distract them from the failing economy and the disastrous foreign policy failure in Ukraine. I didn't talk about Ukraine today. And I may have to break out my original copy of the original Red Dawn because it's going to become appropriate again. And the only problem is I need a VHS player. I don't know where I can find a VHS player, but I know I had a copy of Red Dawn somewhere in the boxes down there in the basement. Anyway, Breyer is reportedly miffed about the leak. He was mad somebody leaked it, but not so miffed that he'll scrub his plans. His retirement is just another example, like the ongoing wave of Democratic congressional retirements, that Democrats expected to lose big in the midterms. So if he wants to be replaced by someone sufficiently leftist, he better see his successors confirmed while the Democrats still sort of control the Senate. That means we're in for another round of confirmation theater as soon as Breyer news broke. Jesse Kelly, channeling the Democrats' fake scandal aimed at Brett Kavanaugh confirmation, announced, whoever Biden wants to replace him, raped me in high school. I don't remember where. Don't ask me to come back to D.C. I'm afraid to fly. He was not the only one who said that. Matt Margolis said the same thing. So it's going to be tough because any nominee that Biden names, they had inappropriate sexual relations with someone, and that's going to muck up the nomination. Anyway, he continues, I suspect Republicans won't be as over the top as Democrats were then. Probably not. With mobs of angry feminists cornering senators in elevators. Yes, they staged an insurrection attempting to stop a government process, but I don't know if anyone are sitting in jail, in a DC jail right now. I don't remember any prosecutions for that. Anyway, but the GOP must decide how to respond, and Republicans are already debating the question. One school of thought considers the Breyer replacement no big deal. A liberal on the court is leaving and will be replaced by another liberal. That's kind of my thoughts. Republicans should go through the motions of opposition, but save their powder for another day. The important thing is not to do anything that might alienate independents and moderates in the midterms. Another school of thought, though, says the opposite. Democrats went over the top with the last few Republican appointments. The only way to teach them a lesson is to give them a taste of their own medicine. Brought to you by Pfizer. Under this approach, Republicans should dig up every bit of dirt they can on the nominee and make as big a stink as they can, a la the Democrats and Kavanaugh, as payback. Payback, bitches! Don't send mobs to the Capitol, though. That's only okay when Democrats do it. Neither approach, though, fits the circumstances. Face it, there's double standard, and Republicans get called insurrectionists for doing things that are called mostly peaceful protests when Democrats do them. Complicating matters more is that Vice President Joe Biden. President Joe Biden. I meant to say President Harris. No, it's President Biden. President Joe Biden promised in campaigning to name a black woman to the Supreme Court. This is a problem for both parties, honestly. It is a problem for both parties, but I don't know if they see it that way. For the GOP, the optics of going full Kavanaugh on a black woman, not so good. You just can't get away with that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff you can get away with when it's aimed at a white male Republican. But for Democrats, the issue is they don't have a deep bench. There's already been speculation that Biden might nominate Vice President Kamala Harris. It was just a debate. It's a debate. It's a debate. Anyway, this would solve many problems since Biden is obviously not up to his job, but no one wants to see Harris replace him. But while being a former California Attorney General is a decent resume line, her work at that job is likely to alienate even many Democrats if it gets the kind of attention it would get in a confirmation. Could you imagine? I want him to nominate Kamala Harris. I want to see that confirmation fight and good Lord, we can go all the way back to Willie Brown with her, how she even got, never mind, or how he got, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, if it gets the kind of attention it would get in a confirmation hearing, Harris was notoriously hard on criminal defendants and notoriously friendly to police and prosecutors who violated those defendants' civil rights. That plays badly post George Floyd. In addition, Harris isn't up to it. She's performed so poorly, that's not his words, I just embellished a little bit, in the undemanding post of vice president. There are other candidates, of course, but not so many that the GOP hasn't been able to look into their backgrounds thoroughly already. At any rate, there are only two people who really matter in this fight. The maverick, finally someone's using that word, Senators Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. Well, not Joe Manchin, but Sinema, definitely a maverick, because that's what Arizona produces, mavericks. If the Democrats can't hold them, everything is up for grabs. That means both the Democrats and Republicans will be spending much energy trying to craft an approach that will please Manchin and Sinema. It should be a fun summer for those two at least, because everyone's going to be sucking up to them. Or the Democrats could think out of the box and nominate hello, Hank, by the way. He could nominate Donald Trump. Think about it. He's a liberal on a lot of social issues. He's old enough that he won't stay on the court that long. Sure, he's not a lawyer, but the Constitution doesn't require him to be. And this way, they won't have to worry about him running for president. Oh my gosh, that is like, that's brilliant. Except some people would like Donald Trump to be president. So, Glenn, I know oops, I don't know. What did I just do? I don't want to do that. Close this shit. Okay, good. That went wrong. I want to, somebody yeet whatever that Russian name is there, please. What the hell? Oh, that's the wrong thing. This is the last article I'm doing, by the way. Okay, that won't happen, but it would be a lot more entertaining than what will. Yes, that would be the most awesome thing ever, and it would be hilarious, but you know that shit ain't happening. Anyway, all right, gang. Happy weekend, because the weekend's here tomorrow. I must leave and go do my other thing, but as you know, I've been putting out little short videos. I revived my Proverbs for the Current Year series, and I'll probably be throwing out a couple of those this afternoon. I might do a couple videos also this weekend. I'm going to Des Moines, Iowa. I'm going to go down for a basketball game to watch Drake versus Loyola with my college buddies. We're going to drink beer. Although, you know what I just found out? This pisses me off. You know what I found out? Our favorite little hole-in-the-wall bar that we go to in Des Moines, every time we go back there, we spend tons of money there. That little bar has it. And by the way, this is not because the city requires what I'm about to say. Our little watering hole bar, little dive college bar that me and my friends, every time we go back, go and spend money. One of our fraternity brothers owns the damn place, has a vaccination proof requirement. I might have to whoop someone's ass when we get down there. Because I think there's 5 or 6 of us meeting down in Des Moines just for this game. And I think there's 2 of us who are not vaccinated for the stupid. Because I already had the shit. Okay? I'm fine. My wife has it right now, and I didn't get it. My mother-in-law has it right now, and I'm the only one who can go visit her because my wife has COVID. And I'm not getting it. I'm about to whoop someone's ass. Anyway, all right. Before I go, let me remind you, in the link, in fact, I'm going to put this link right here now. Here's the link that I want you to see. Wait, that's the Grifties. Okay, here's the link to the video that I did. It's only it's 50 seconds long. It's less than a minute long. So watch this video on your way out. I'll put it in the chat down, or in the description down below. It'll be in the links as I always do. Thank you everybody for being here today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you haven't hit the like button so far, hit the like button now before you go. And if you'd like, please share the stream before, during, and after the show. If you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section so that I know you dropped by, so I can say hi to you too, or at least give you one of those little heart thingies. And thank you for our sponsors today. A lot of sponsors today. Let me just bring this out here. Sponsors today, Cassius Cam, Canon Hotep, Ty Alexander, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And Mr. Alone and Maddie. Thank you all for sponsoring the show. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do that at pdognight.live, 24 hours a day. Leave a message. I'll mention your message on the show. You can also do YouTube Super Chats if you don't mind giving Susan 30%. And you can go Cash App and Venmo. That's down in the description down below. Thank you so much for being here today. I got to go. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Watch my 1-minute video. It's linked in the chat. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thanks for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.